Well, survived to another Christmas. Yes, I did. Been alive 26,750 something days. If you were born on May 31st, 1954. Wow, is time going by? My brother would be 73 tomorrow if he had survived. Can't believe. Since March. Unbelievable. Anyway, couldn't let a holiday go by without saying a Merry Christmas to my lovely followers and to acknowledge how many years. Say Merry Christmas, everyone. Say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas. Let's
everyone.
sing. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah. All.
Merry
Merry Christmas,
Christmas
all.
from me and Gilda. Merry Christmas to you. Let's see.
Yeah.
What is this new?
What?
An early Christmas present. Yep. Don't be looking down her blouse, you perverts. Yeah. Christmas present, Christmas present. Yes, indeed. It's been a crazy year, guys. Boys, it's been a crazy ass fucking year. Gotta admit that. Whew. Well, I'm not one really to make resolutions on the new year. You gonna eat some Biko?
Yeah, for coffee.
With your coffee? You gonna have some Biko.
Biko
Biko.
and coffee.
Biko and coffee. Oh my God. Biko and coffee. Okay. Not for me. I don't even know what I eat for breakfast anymore. I really don't know. I get so frustrated. I wind up eating something as unhealthy as broccoli or Brussels sprouts or something like that. But basically, I gotta have at least a little cup of my blueberries. I gotta have my blueberries. So I gotta defrost some of this. No, that's not my complete breakfast, but I try to incorporate my blueberries into my diet every day. So blueberries it is, and whatever else is going to go along with it. What I have to do is to kind of defrost these. Whoa, that's a little bit too much. No, I could. What the hell? So I'll have like a bowl of blueberries here. Beautiful blueberries. I put too much in there. I got to take some out. I don't want that many blueberries. That's a little bit too much. What's my body gonna think? Okay, God, it gets all over your hands. It stains. It stains. So we'll defrost some blueberries, and I don't know what I'm gonna have. How many eggs left?
A lot of eggs. I got yesterday.
Oh, you bought more? God bless you. God bless you, Gilda. You are the best. You are the best. Forget the rest. You are the best. Can you see Biko has a nice sound to it. Biko. Do like a kind of a nasally effect with that. Say Biko, Biko. Got to have some Biko. No, I don't eat that stuff. What is that? Pretty much sticky rice with whatever. I don't know. I don't eat that kind of stuff. I mean, I've tasted. I'm not. It's not a big thing for me. Biko, Biko. I just like saying Biko, Biko, Biko. Yeah. Anyway, it is indeed another Christmas. Survived to another Christmas. Apparently, if you're listening to me, you have survived to see another Christmas. Congratulations to you. And with the new year coming, I know everybody makes all these resolutions. Nah, don't make resolutions. If you're going to do something, just do it. I would say 90% of the people, not having any factual mathematics on this, of course, but I would say 90% of people who make resolutions don't keep their resolutions at all. 90%. I'm going to show you something you don't see a lot out here. Passion fruit. And it's growing all over. And I used to grow it in Hawaii. This is growing all over my fencing back here. all over. It's really sweet. You gotta the problem is you gotta straighten. I'm in a bad spot, so don't yell at me. I might have a signal fluctuation on here. We are live. We are live as compared to being not alive. Thought I'd come on and say a Merry Christmas to my regular followers. That includes my trolls too, because they watch my show also. I can't leave the trolls out. I certainly can't leave Popeye out. God bless you, Popeye. God bless you. God bless you. You gotta give a Merry Christmas to everyone. Can't leave anybody out. To all my regulars, to all the evildoers out there, I could give you a Merry Christmas too. Because that's the kind of guy I am. Know what I'm saying? Okay. What is everybody doing for Christmas Day? What is everybody doing? I know. No, we're not going to wait for New Year's for that. I had to do a combination present because it's not only Christmas, but there's going to be a little disconnect every now and then. We'll do it on the 4th because that's when all the kids will be available and they'll all be over here. It's going to be kind of crowded here. Because that's the kind of guy I'm just fucking with your head here a little bit. And her and the dogs. One of her boys went up to Davao. There was a death in the family. And the rest of the brood is in Cebu at this moment, but they will be making a pilgrimage here soon enough, and they're certainly going to be here on Mom's birthday. My granny, right? That's interesting because I'll tell you what, if I was in the United States and had a woman that was 20 years younger than me, I'd be pretty goddamn fortunate dude. But you know how the state of mind is here in the Philippines because people figure they can get. But you know, to each his own. But I think a 20-year difference works well for me. It's a good number. 20 years. I should be so lucky in the USA. There's no way in the world that I get a woman 20 years younger than me in the USA. I mean, I'm not Brad Pitt, although I'm as good looking, but no, I just don't see that ever happening. Unless, of course, you're Brad Pitt or somebody like that. I just don't see anybody being that fortunate to be able to have somebody that young in America. It just does not normally happen. And people, it's amazing how they frown on you if you had somebody who was 20 years younger than you in America. It's a whole different world out here in the Philippines. And that's why they come here. They figure they can get the young ones. But to have that expression that if a woman is going to be 50 years old, that she's a granny, well, that expression applies here in the Philippines because a lot of expats, they know they can get the younger women. Well, it has to be an underlying reason why somebody extraordinarily younger is going to be with an expat, but I think we all know the reasons for that for many of them. Look at poor Mark Thornton. Yeah, just had a baby, you know. Young Filipina. But, you know, this is an expectation. Personally, and this is just my thought, and I don't know what your thought is, but I really don't think at an advanced age a man should be fathering a child. Because it's, well, these are my thoughts anyway. It's kind of unfair, I think, to the child. Because he's never going to really get to know his dad. Because the couple decided to get together. The guy had the spunk, you know, and of course Filipinos want children. And the child grows up without the natural father, and that's kind of sad. But we hear these stories all the time. These old dudes, I mean, even older than me, fathering children. I don't think it's right. But again, that's just my opinion. Hello, Fistos. Merry Christmas. Bama, I know you're watching. Enjoy another Christmas in jail. Oh, let's just be kind to him today. He's having a hard time. He's having a really hard time. He's losing his noodle, man. Boy, I've seen him at his worst, and no, this is his worst, actually. He's just really just literally belching it out, his frustrations. Give him a break on Christmas. He's all alone in his cell. He has to listen to this Indian guy next to him. That's got to be punishment enough. Well, not enough, really, but well, you reap what you sow, as it said. Fisto, so what are you doing on Christmas today? Oh, we're going to have a good quiet day today because we don't have anybody here today. And we won't until, well, coming early January. When my sweetie's birthday on January 2nd, celebrating on the 4th though, and the basketball team will be here. They'll be here with the basketball and everything. I'll even set up some hoops just to make it appropriate. Otherwise, what was I going to say now? Lost my train of thought. No, I just thought I'd come on and say Merry Christmas. I could always make time for my viewers. It's the kind of guy I am. I think of my viewers, good or bad. Pardon me for a segundo here. I have to put this on mute. Okay, sorry about that. I had to do something that I couldn't do on camera, if you understand that. Of all the girls I've loved before. Willie Nelson, was it 92 years old? 92. Clint Eastwood. What the hell is he? 90? Gosh. That's amazing. What's really amazing is how time goes by that fast. Seems like it was a real short time ago that my brother passed away. That was in last March. Jeez. There's something when you get a little bit older, it seems that time goes by a lot faster. I don't know why. It's different with children. Time is like forever with them. But you get to be a certain age and God, birthday after birthday after birthday. It's not a bad thing that you could experience another birthday. It means you're still alive and you're living that long. I don't really look at life as well if you're X amount of, yeah. Eggnog? I don't even like eggnog. I never like it. It tastes like, or smells like nail polish remover. I always remember that. And I always use that expression. I don't know, it smells like nail polish remover. I never really grew up, although my parents would buy eggnog here and there on the holidays, but I never got into eggnog. I don't know, it was just kind of a weird smell or taste to it. I don't know what the hell's in there. Egg? I guess eggnog. I don't know where that name came from. Nog. What's a nog? There's some things I know, and there's some things I just don't know, or just don't care to know. I'm just going to enjoy a nice quiet day with just me and my wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous girlfriend and the dogs. Kick back, watch my series, have a good dinner tonight. Then the big gala birthday event coming here soon. Not mine, hers. And we got a buffet situation going here. Of course, 90% of whatever's going to be there is probably something I don't eat, don't want to eat. I'm sorry, am I boring everybody here? Because I'm not talking about trolls and drama. Nah, give it a break for a day, Give it a break. Who is this Ian guy, by the way? And I think it's that guy Timmy. I got to say this though. Timmy writes me all the time, and he says he's businessman and blah blah blah. But then he said his name was Ian. So who is Ian? Just wondering who Ian is. Kind of a weird dude. He always writes me, and he goes from hot to cold, where he's like threatening me to do this and do that in regard to what's his name's case. Other times he's praising me, and then I'm saying, what the fuck? As I always said, the psychology of some of these people, it's just mind-boggling. So is he Ian? I've heard his name being used on YouTube before, Ian. Supposedly that's the guy, Timmy. You might have seen his name a lot on Bummer's show here and there. But certainly writes me all the time. Of all the girls I've loved before, where are they today? Oh, I just found out somebody I used to date by accident. I sort of found out that they passed away. Wow. Like I said, time goes by so fast. Age is no guarantee, to live from 1 year to the other. You just take it day by day, year by year, because that's all you can do. Nobody knows their future. And maybe it's better that you don't. I really wouldn't want to know. Know what I mean? I really wouldn't want to know. I don't think I could live knowing that if I have a certain expiration date and have to know that information, if there was a way of knowing that. I don't think that would work real well. So you wake up every morning and you do your thing like you do every day until your ticket expires, whatever. Then you're gone. The people that have adored you all these years will miss you. But I was watching something, get these feeds on Facebook, and it says when somebody dies, there'll be the mourning and all that stuff, and go on for a little while, and then as time goes by, you'll be less remembered, and as other people die in your age bracket, there's nobody to even remember you anymore. It's almost like you never really existed, unless you've actually accomplished something in your life that will live on, whether you're an artist, whether you're a musician, or you've done something, I don't care what it is, in your life where your name is still going to be out there. I don't think my YouTube videos are going to be out there when I go. You're just going to have memories. I remember when Frank said this, and Frank did this, and Frank said that. And that was funny. And what a good guy he was. We're going to miss him. Oh, there's going to be a few people out there that'll miss me for sure. I provided so much entertainment through the years that how can I not be remembered? When you give it thought, you know. No eggnog. No, 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 no. I don't even know if they sell it out here in the Philippines, to be honest with you. I've personally never seen it. Maybe in the big supermarkets or something. But I don't remember ever seeing that. But that's more of a holiday thing anyway, you know. Like, what is this thing with fruitcake? It seems like nobody likes fruitcake. It's a gift. It's a re-gifted gift. Somebody gets a fruitcake for Christmas and they take it and say, I don't want this shit. And they re-gift it to somebody else who probably re-gifts it to somebody else. Where did this fruitcake come in from? I don't think I've ever liked it. I certainly wouldn't give fruitcake as a gift to somebody. I wouldn't do that. Fruitcake. It's the most passed along item during the holidays that you've ever heard of. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the fruitcake. And they just, right away to give it to somebody else, and that person will pass it along to somebody else. And by the time it gets to somebody who really wants to eat it, we don't know how fresh it'll actually be. Fruitcake. I'm going to forget about diet for the holidays. I'm just going to engorge myself and just enjoy the lasagna. And we like to make lasagna when we can. It's one of my favorites, actually. She doesn't make a bad lasagna, actually. Well, what are you doing, Carl, for Christmas? And let's put our hearts out to those unfortunate people who are very alone. Pass the fruitcake to me with a glass of milk. You really like fruitcake, huh? I just don't even remember what it tastes like. I've had it, but I don't remember. If I was hungry enough, I know I'd eat it. I'd have a glass of almond milk with it. I'm getting in a sweet mood. We don't have any sweets around here. The only sweet thing I have in the refrigerator is an open can of A&W root beer. I don't remember what it tastes like. Come up with some thumbs up, people. I don't remember anything about the taste of fruitcake, and I don't know if I've actually seen it out here in the Philippines. That is. As I said, you might find that in places like S&R, in their department there, where they have their pastries and cookies and stuff like that. In fact, I'm pretty sure they actually do carry that. I like a good old fashioned, well made apple pie. I watched this movie, and I've been watching this series. It's called Virgin River. It's not for everybody, but I've been following it. And of course, they're in this fictitious town by this river they call the Virgin River. The setting is the Pacific Northwest, actually filmed in Vancouver, Canada, where they do a lot of filming, actually. It's very lovely. The scenes of the mountains, the river, the backdrop of this movie is I could relate to it because I've lived in the Pacific Northwest. I really like that. But in this movie, and it's a small town type thing, and everybody knows their business. I mean, they know everything, everything. And all they do, they're giving pies, they're eating pies. Pies in small country towns are very popular. Someone's always making some pie, a rhubarb pie, an apple pie, or whatever. And throughout this whole movie that I've been watching so far, everything is sweets. cupcakes and donuts and pies, even scones. Now, okay, scones. You got me on them. I can't find any real scones out here in the Philippines. Occasionally, I'd think Starbucks would sell scones, but when I was living in good old USA, I'd love to get these pumpkin scones, carrot scones, blueberry scones, and it was available in certain stores. I mean, I love scones. I'd like to learn to make them myself, but they were really, really good. Scones. I think of all well, I like a lot of different pastries, but scones was my standby. I've always loved scones. Let's see. Expecting boat boys with 3 grandkids, 8.5, and expecting boat boys with 3 grand. You're expecting boat boys with 3 grandkids, 8.8.5 and 1. So you're expecting. Wow. It's a very complicated movie, and one of the characters in the movie, this lady, she's a nurse practitioner, whatever, and she lost her children. Well, she gave birth one time, and it really affected her. And her husband died in a car accident with her, and it's a woman's natural instinct, maternal instinct, to have children. And the guy she's with, although she hasn't married him yet, he wasn't ready for kids. He's running this restaurant and bar, and then he had a girlfriend before her that he wasn't in love with. What a soap opera, right? Who is expecting twins of his, and he doesn't know how he's going to handle this. So she met another guy who's really rich and would prefer to kind of stay away from the father of the children. What a soap opera, huh? And try to relinquish his rights as a father. Then his girlfriend wants to get married, and she went off and did some in vitro stuff, something about an embryo or something from her husband who died, or something that they kept. So she got impregnated with in vitro, which is not his kid. And he's got 2 kids coming, twins from this other woman that he was dating. I don't know. These movies are, you watch one episode of this particular series, and the drama in just one episode, who's dying of cancer, who got in a car accident, okay, who shot somebody, who's trying to deal with some guy that's doing a underground drug business, and it's hard to keep up. In fact, the producers of the show, the writers, you go to the next episode, and all of a sudden they're saying this is 3 weeks later or 1 year later, and you don't see the details of what happened between the last episode and the new episode. It's kind of frustrating. One of those things. Okay, you're expecting both boys with 3. Okay, I still understand that. 1 thumbs up. They're very generous on Christmas today. Very generous. Hi, Robert. Hi, Robert. Merry Christmas, Robert. Merry Christmas to you. Maybe we'll see a greater reduction of shows being done today, and I got to sneeze. Pardon me. Damn. Yeah, at least I'm not fucking burping all fucking day. I couldn't handle that. Carl says, you asked me what I was doing on Christmas. Both of my sons are coming over with 3 grandkids, so that's going to be fun. Ages 8, 5, and 1 year. Having an early dinner. Well, that's cool. Have the family come. No, they would normally be here, as they would be every year. We have 2 children that live at my house, 2 of our children. They're like my own. And they had to go to Cebu, of course, to be with their father, and other family members. But we've arranged it so that they're all going to be here on their mom's birthday. And that's when they're all going to be here. And we're going to have a buffet, we're going to have the baboy, the lechon, and whatever else, Of course, mostly Filipino food, which to me is kind of excuse the expression, a bummer. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm really eating. Hopefully, maybe we'll have a cake and I could have a piece of that. But um, normally we would have them here for Christmas, but the way it was arranged this year and school and everything else and whatever was going on and obligations at work or whatever, we're going to just have it on Gilda's birthday. Well, actually, a couple of days after her birthday. Yeah. I took care of her Christmas present and birthday all at once, so I got that out of the way. Got that out of the way. Not telling you what I got, because actually I haven't opened it up yet. I gave her an early present. I don't know, I'm like that. I can't wait. I can't wait for the holiday. I can't wait for the holiday. If I got something to give, I'm just going to give it before the holiday or birthday, whatever it is, So I don't. I'm impatient with stuff like that. Yeah. Carl, where are you? You're in the States? And curious why you come on YouTube and, well, the Philippines genre. It's an honest question. What brings you? Are you married to a Filipina? What's your story? I'd like to get to know a little about my viewers. Shit, I mean, I don't even know what I'm having for breakfast, to be honest with you. I try to have 2 eggs every morning. There's nothing wrong with having 2 eggs. Some people say just don't have X amount of eggs. It's not you know, what you want to avoid is saturated fat. The cholesterol is perfectly fine. So if you guys are thinking, oh God, too much, your liver actually produces cholesterol. You need cholesterol. It's the saturated fat that you got to stay away from. Yeah. And I love meatballs too. And I have a frozen bag of these from, S&R. If I was really hungry to pick on something and I needed something meaty or protein, I would make these things. But then I go to read the back of the bag and I'm saying, oh shit, man. I can't believe the amount of sodium, the amount of saturated fat and shit in it. And I feel really guilty to eat something like that. I mean, I'm getting older. I don't need the extra saturated fat. And my meats, I cut off, some people like that marbling and they like the fat in there, but I try to remove the fat from the meats. It's not like I'm eating beef every day. I fairly often, but we eat chicken a lot. I mean, chicken is, I must say, is a major part of our diet here. Chicken. I mean, I like chicken, and you could do a lot with it. You could add it to vegetables. You could add it to rice if you want, and put vegetables in there too. You could bread it, fry, whatever you want to do with it. Chicken is very versatile, and I don't mind chicken. I don't mind chicken. And even I can get too beefed out too. What I like to do, what I suggest people do, if you really have a taste for beef, you just take some hamburger meat, just take some ground beef. Try to find a 90%. It's kind of hard to find a 90% here. You always get 80%, fat, less fat, but you just take some of that and you make a vegetable dish. What you do is you could add spices and stuff to it. You just mix some of that ground beef to your vegetables. And this way you're not getting too much beef, but you're actually getting that taste of beef that you want. Because, some people sit down with a 16-ounce steak or something, and that's really something that I don't really advise people to do. And when I buy a steak, it's usually a little ribeye, and it's not a big ribeye. It's not a huge, big, thick ribeye. Not just for expense, but I don't want to eat a big old piece of steak. I mean, it's really not healthy. You could eat steaks, you certainly can, but and actually, most people are healthier by being a carnivore rather than just being a vegetarian. You ever see the average vegetarian, what they look like? They're skinny as hell. You want to call somebody frail? That's frail. You need that kind of protein from beef, but it has a lot of other good stuff in it too. Just don't eat too much of it, you know. Okay, Carl says, my story in a few words is I have traveled Asia, Vietnam, China, and Philippines, and Korea, and Cambodia in the past for short vacations. Okay. You were married to an American gal. I enjoyed a mystery. Was married. That means you're not. I enjoyed a mystery of Asia and a beautiful, unique woman. So you're no longer married, is what you said. You can't stay with American women, man. It just doesn't work. They all became Karens. That's the last thing any of us need. I've had a couple of Karens. Not extremely bad, but I've they were Karens, and that's not something you could live with. It would be just total misery. Enjoy the mystery of Asia, the mysteries. Oh, look, I'll tell you what, I never thought I'd wind up in Asia. There was no way in the world that was on my mind. I could never see me even leaving the United States, never live in a foreign country. I live in different states. I mean, I did that 3 times, from New York to the Pacific Northwest to Hawaii. Quite a different change in venue there. Between New York and Washington is a big difference between Washington and a subtropical island, to Hawaii. That's really different. What I miss is the Four Seasons, though, not the band, but I miss Frankie Valley was good too, but I miss having seasons. And the one thing that I could say is I miss the fall season, autumn on the East Coast when it was just a wonderland of color. And the further up the eastern seaboard you went, I mean, you'd see a lot more of this beautiful change in foliage. And it was the most fascinating and colorful thing to me. And me being into photography, I love that, especially if you've seen all this beautiful autumn leaves surrounding a lake or a river. What a scene that was. It was beautiful. The blue of the water juxtaposed against the different hues of color that these deciduous trees would produce. The orange, the reds, even purple, the different hues of color was amazing. It's too bad it can't be like that all the time. Just beautiful, man. My choice for retirement is Vietnam. Planning a 4 trip. So, what is it you like about Vietnam? Because there's not much English speaking there, and quite a contrast. I don't know. I mean, I never got drafted or nothing. I never went to Vietnam. Thank goodness for that. As Pop always stated, I was a draft dodger, but I never was a draft dodger. They couldn't take me in. I had bad hearing. I got a notice in the mail. I was like number 7 or something on there. But the Vietnam War was kind of still going on, maybe a year or two after I received that. But I was in college already, and that helped too. And nobody was avoiding the draft. No, I didn't get drafted or nothing. I just would not have qualified. Simple as that. And I wouldn't have gone anyway. I mean, no, I would not have gone. It's amazing now that although the United States and Vietnam, they fought against each other, the same as like the United States and Japan. We were once enemies, and now it's like, we're very accepted in these countries now, and vice versa, and I mean, who would ever thought that would happen, really? I mean, shit, they bombed Pearl Harbor, the Japanese, and then we put the big boy on them, and, the Japanese now own America. Well, they certainly own Hawaii, I can tell you that by experience, and, we do a lot of business with Japan, and Vietnam, I guess, is surprising, 'cause I've heard that before, but if you couldn't be in the war in Vietnam, imagine retiring and living in Vietnam post-war. That's that's kind of interesting. Is it because you think it's cheaper than the Philippines? One thumbs up? Come on, guys. So I've heard different sides of the story. I don't know. The only thing I know about Vietnam is going back to the war days, Vietnam and America and all that, and how they used to behead Americans and their allies and do some really nasty things. But then again, the truth is, Americans and their allies did some pretty nasty things to the Vietnamese and Viet Cong, and I think back to that and I say, I don't know, could I ever live in Vietnam? I don't know. I don't know. But I wasn't part of that, you know. And the truth is, I would have never have gone. I would have never have gone. I don't know what I would have done really, because at that particular time I was in school and I didn't have any money, you know. So if I say, hey, I'll go to Canada, well, you can't just go to Canada with no money. Where are you going to live? You got any money to rent somewhere? You couldn't just take off unless you knew somebody in Canada. But I'll tell you straight up, there was no way in the world I was going to get involved with call it a war that we had no business undertaking. That's my train of thought. We had no business being in Vietnam. And just because the government says it's okay to kill, killing is not right. I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in that kind of violence. I didn't, these people have families too. Of course, if they came on your home turf and you had to protect yourself, that's a whole different story. But, we went on their turf. They didn't come on ours. We went on their turf. Yeah. Carl says, yes, the language barrier is difficult, however. Yeah, that's the point I don't like. I enjoy the food, people, history, the French influence in the North. The cuisine is top also. Accommodations are very reasonable. And I find that the people are very forgiving despite how the U.S. military screwed the Vietnamese. Yeah. I don't know. The United States put their nose in everybody's business, and that's the problem. That's why the United States is one of the most hated countries in the world. They just can't keep their nose in politics out of other countries. So what if a country is communist? The way I see it, this is not my topic matter here. I don't know how I even ventured into that, but so you have a communist country, right? That's their politics. Whoever runs the country can run it the way they want. Now, the United States doesn't want to. They just want to be at odds with communist countries because, it's got to be the American way or the highway. Governments have the right to run their country the way they want. The United States does not have to approve how somebody runs their country. They should have a concern about their nuclear capabilities. Sure, have a concern on that, but leave them alone. And then there's socialism. What is wrong with socialism? Socialism, by the way, is not communism, as people think. Socialism can work. I mean, the free health care, although, don't get me wrong, you'll pay extra taxes, but free health care, because so many people take advantage of it, my understanding, like in Canada and other places, I know of this in Canada, it's really hard to get an appointment to get a procedure done or whatever because it's, let's call it free. Okay, socialized medicine. You'll get what you need done. I think Norway's like that too. There's nothing wrong with socialism, certainly in the medical respect of that. Okay, I don't see anything wrong. So if you have to pay more taxes to support that, then so be it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think, Ironically, they have a Dunkin' Donuts in the Ho Chi Minh airport. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Don't they have all this stuff there? Don't they have McDonald's? I mean, that's everywhere. Don't they have all the fast food places in Vietnam? I would imagine they do. Vietnam technically is communist. However, they incorporated some capitalism in the mix. Oh, I'm sure. There's always going to be capitalism in the mix. They see how well America has done. What do you think how well America has done? We're in debt to other countries. What is the national deficit, whatever, in the United States? It's way over the trillions. I don't know. It's pretty high. Which I never understood the train of thought that America is the most richest country in the world. No, they're not. I think United Arab Republic is. God, how some of these people are living there. I see this stuff. And although I've never been there, I've seen enough feeds on the internet on how these sheiks and all these people are living out there. It's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. But I don't think the average Joe could live in the UAE. I don't think so. I don't know if there's any such thing as cheap housing in UAE. Does that even exist? Yeah, most fast food businesses in the, yeah. UAE, it's just too hot there. My understanding there, in its hottest weather, people, I don't think you barely see them walk outside. They go from their air-conditioned office to their air-conditioned car to their air-conditioned home. That can get in the 120-degree marks in the summer or whatever. Oh, that's not for me. It's hot enough here. But there's money to be made. And now, of course, I'm not this expert in countries and stuff. And did they still even use the word Arabia? Has it been changed to the United Arab Republic? Clue me in on that, because I've always known that region to be called Arabia. When did it become the United Arabic Republic? Maybe you could clue me in on that, because I'm not well versed on that. To me, it was always Arabia. So if anybody knows that, tell me what that's all about. I'm not familiar with that territory. Perhaps someday I'll visit Vietnam. Who knows? Who knows? Perhaps. Carl said, living by the coast, Da Nang, Hoi An, are very nice and can get really hot. Yeah, if I had a choice to live somewhere out of the Philippines, it had to be Asia. I don't know. I mean, Singapore or Kuala Lumpur. Singapore is a really well-kept place. I mean, everybody has a job there. The streets are clean. It's well run. And some areas there are very colorful in the streets. Very colorful housing and storefronts and parks. And Singapore is a good one. Kuala Lumpur, that would be another consideration. But they're all still hot. And the only way you're going to be cool in Asia is if, well, you live in a mountain region. I kind of liked over here at Baguio. This is an element of Baguio that I liked, but there were a lot of elements I didn't like. The pollution was pretty bad. I loved the pine trees. It reminded me of the Northwest. And the Northwest was big to me. I loved the whole atmosphere. That's why I'm watching this series I'm watching. It takes place in the Pacific Northwest. And I really love these little small country towns where everybody knows your name, but that also means for a lot of gossip too. Everybody knows each other. And they're always bringing each other pies. I mean, it's the one thing I noticed in this movie I'm watching, this series. Everybody's bringing somebody a pie, or they're going, and the main center of the town is this guy, Jack's restaurant, Jack's bar, which is a restaurant, has this black dude, which was his Marine buddy that served in a couple of places together, Iraq and so forth. And so his co-worker is going to be, well, he owns a place, but everybody comes there. That's what they do. That's where they go. They go to this bar and restaurant where they have, really good meals. I mean, apparently the dude that's the chef there, who's now going to become his business partner, really is an excellent cook. And sometimes they even carry the finest wines in there too. And it's everybody meets there. Kind of like Cheers, where everybody knows your name, but really set in a beautiful, idyllic atmosphere. There are beautiful river and mountains and pine trees, and it's kind of cool as a backdrop. Yeah, it is. It is. Singapore is very expensive with a mix of ethnic backgrounds, great foods. They do. But it is on the expensive side. Yeah, that's the only thing that I don't like about Singapore. Unfortunately, the cheapest countries in Asia are the ones that you probably wouldn't want to live in, really. I don't think I'd want to live in Cambodia, places like that. I don't think so. I like it right here in the Philippines. The Philippines has a lot to work on. A lot of improvements got to be done in this country, but infrastructure and all that stuff. But it's coming along. I'll be long dead before they really make it into the current century, as far as technology and internet and everything else that's going on. But I don't know. It works for me. It works pretty well for me. I think it does. Pardon me for a second here. I'm gonna find something to wear. I'm walking around in my undies here. Got up around 12 because she got up around 12. Perhaps just to say, Merry Christmas to some of her relatives and so forth. But I got up for a little bit. I listened to some of Barry's bullshit. Oh my God. That put me to sleep again. Yeah, I didn't finish it though. I just couldn't. I went back to sleep and I went back to sleep. Got up at a good time, and for me, it's my normal time. I get up at shit, 5 o'clock or some shit like that. Where the hell is all my underwear? Where's all my undies? Where's all my? Oh, here's one pair. God, this looks like something out of the 1950s. What the hell is this? Dang. I need some undies, guys. Where's my undies? I have to search around. Can't walk around with my undies on. No, it's only her here. Of all the girls I've loved before. Sing these Willie Nelson songs because I happen to be watching something on one of these Facebook feeds, of course. Willie Nelson. I thought he died, to be honest with you. No, I was never really a Willie Nelson's fan. And I also never related to potheads either. I just never have. It's just a fact. I was never a pothead. Of course, I've smoked a few doobies in my life, but I was never a pothead. Nah. And besides, that shit became so goddamn strong. Well, my brother was a chronic with that shit. Every time he'd want me to take a hit of it, all right, I'll give in, I'll take a hit. I go, what the fuck? Because the different strains that they developed, certainly in Hawaii, was quite powerful. Quite powerful. I think anybody who really wants to get into all that THC and shit I would just make it more edible rather than smokable, because that'll affect your lungs too. I don't partake in that. I mean, I don't even drink. I don't even drink. Smoke, yeah, well, that's something that has to be eliminated, but one vice is better than two or three vices. Guess I should be happy for that. Not happy about it that I have one vice, but that I'm not into several. Maybe that's why I'm alive. So I would have got involved in some of the things my brother did. I wouldn't be alive today. But then again, he lived to 72. If he carried on a little longer, he would have made it to his 73rd birthday, but he didn't, unfortunately. That's too bad. You know, we're all responsible for what we do in our lives to ourselves or others, and we got to. Not going to light up a doobie right now. Not the kind of doobie that you might like. So I'm not really well traveled, but I will tell you that I think I made my good choices. For the places that I have lived in for really extensive periods of time. Don't forget, of course I lived in New York till I was about 28, born and raised, and then 25, 26 years in the Pacific Northwest, which was a great experience, by the way. What a beautiful place that is. As I said, I was talking about some mountain, glacier lakes and stuff like that I've seen and been to, and just gorgeous, just the atmosphere of the small towns up in the mountains. But what I did find, I'll give you an example. Mount Index area, I used to go up to Mount Index river sites, and they had a lot of stoners and whatnot, and fugitives living in a beautiful area. There's like even a waterfall, a river, and they'd be living in these little shacks. They have a little chimney stack, coming out of them out of a camper or something, or they have these really skinny little structures they just put together with wood, or whatever it was. They couldn't afford it, but a lot of these people were hiding from the law, and yeah, it was beautiful in the mountains, and if they have a little snow on them. I was at Mount Index. I was considering buying this little chalet. I mean, a tiny little thing. It was an A-frame. It was an A-frame is what it actually was. I wanted to ask you about alcohol. Do you not even enjoy a glass of wine? No, I should, but I take a derivative of wine. I take a concentrated resveratrol, which taking one of these pills is like getting the polyphenols and all that stuff of a couple of hundred glasses of fucking wine. I'm not kidding you. Got them right here. Nah. You know why I don't drink wine? From a bad experience. I was living in Seattle. I had this guy, we used to call him Stevie Space Dust, nickname. We found ourselves alone on one holiday. Stevie was a definite stoner and alcoholic. So it was Thanksgiving or something, I don't know what it was, and I didn't have any friends over at that time or nothing. Stevie next door, he came over with a bottle of Mad Dog. Holy shit. Of course, he had a doobie there, you know. Took a few tokes of that, and where did he get the Mad Dog? He went to it's like a 7-Eleven type of place right across the street where I was living at the time, early Seattle days. And the fucker stole it. He just fucking stole it because he was broke. So we didn't have anybody at that time. I was very new and didn't know a whole lot of people, except the people in our little multiplex. And next door, which is right next door, another multiplex. We had some interesting characters. I mean, we had a wannabe Farrah Fawcett there. She was a real trip. Stevie came over with the bottle of Mad Dog, and I drank it with him. And holy shit, man, I was laid out on the floor. Gut rot, man. I mean, I should have eaten something, okay? That's a clue there. But I was laid out on the floor. Then Tony comes over. Now, Tony is a adopted Filipino guy. Here we go, Filipinos. Tony was a huge guy for his age. I mean, for being a Filipino. Small. It's not true. Troublemaker, you know. He got arrested a few times. He was a thief is what he was. So I'm like laid out on the living room floor. On the living room floor, and Tony comes over, right? He takes advantage of me, the motherfucker. Well, he carried me into the bedroom. I said, yeah, he goes, what's going on, man? Oh, you're pretty fucking stoned or something or whatever. I said, my stomach was just really hurting from that Mad Dog, man. So, picks me up, big guy, throws me in my room, and what does he do? The motherfucker steals my black leather jacket. And he steals the camera from a gal that I was just kind of starting to date, that I met in a local grocery store. She was a checker. And she knew I was into photography. I wanted to borrow a camera. It was a Pentax. And Tony fucking stole that too, to sell this shit, is what he did. I was pissed. And she got pissed off at me. I told her right away, I said, that this got stolen. Made me feel really bad. Of course, I didn't steal the camera, you know. He did. He did. That's what Tony was like. He was a real character, troublemaker all the time. But he ripped me off. Took advantage of me in that respect, and it wasn't really cool. Carl says, I never got into the pot scene. I never really felt comfortable. I never did either, man. Hey, Stephen, Merry Christmas to you, sir. Merry Christmas to everyone. Even you, Barry, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Everybody. Even you, Popeye, Merry Christmas to you. No, I was never a pothead. And believe me, I lived in Seattle, a lot of potheads, but let me tell you, there was more in Hawaii. Although there's more dangerous drugs in the Seattle area. God, if you see that place today, my understanding is it fell apart. They're not even arresting these people on the street. They're all doing fentanyl. The drug scene is so bad. They used to call it the Emerald City. And let me tell you, I was proud to live in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle. Seattle was a beautiful city. And I was happy to have a job that really added to the beautification of that city. I worked in the most beautiful parks in the country. And you have to see the parks that I've actually serviced. And just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Some of it was right near Puget Sound. Some of it was on Lake Washington. That was a great job. Some people make fun of me. You work for the Parks Department. So did Popeye. No, it actually was a good job. If I didn't have my interest in Hawaii, I would have stayed there and, whatever. But in retrospect, I look back, and my timing was always great. Every time I left the state I lived in, man, the timing was just perfect. Because these places fell apart. Seattle was no longer that beautiful city by Puget Sound and Olympic Mountains on one side and the Cascades on the other, and gorgeous town, just gorgeous. And the women were hotter than shit. Now they're all obese, and the drug scene is really, really, really bad. I mean, it's really bad, really bad. I moved out at the right time. I made the right decision. I did not. I had a good, you might guess you call it a civil service job. I had a good civil service job. The benefits were really, really good, really, really good. What I was making at the time, I wasn't getting rich, but I ended off at about $17 an hour, and I'd make more than that if I filled in on somebody else's position. I was sick and I did maintenance labor. There was a difference in pay grade, and I'd take the opportunity every time I could. I'll work on a holiday that's my day off. I get double time and a half or something. If it was a holiday and my normal day off, and it was on a weekend, it was okay. It was okay because you see, I didn't always drive it around, but I would be part of other crews too, and because I got the opportunity to work with different divisions like horticulture, plants, flowers, planting, different things like that. It was gorgeous, and I worked at the warehouse for a while, places like that. Got to meet a lot of different people and from the different divisions. They had the HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and so forth, And got to see my first death plant. That plant is called the death plant. It smells like death. They had that at the botanical, over at the horticulture place. They had I forgot what they call that, but it smells like something died. And people were so interested in that. I mean, I don't know. It's amazing what arouses people's interest. The Paramount Club. The Paramount Club. The Paramount Club. I'm not recalling that. The Paramount Club. I don't think I remember that. I entered Seattle around 1979 or 80 or somewhere around there. Oh, it was a place to be. I was very proud to say I lived in Seattle. About half of the time I lived there, but then the other half, it was turning to shit. It really was. You got everybody moving in there. The Mexicans moving in there. There were some cartels, I'm sure. The Russians were moving in. The drug activity went through the fucking roof, man. Right now, I mean, there were places that are boarded up in the downtown area of Seattle, the urban area, that are boarded up. We had some quality stores like the Bon Marché. I don't think the Bon Marché is there anymore. A very quality department store. It was very expensive. And all you see now is people laying there in the street, people drugged out of their mind, and the police don't do anything because the city council says don't do anything. Guys popping out of these garbage cans, yelling at people and screaming at people. Needles on the street everywhere, used needles. But they accommodate them. They give them free needles and stuff so they can continue doing their stuff. It's a mess. Even some of the most influential people, wealthy people in the Seattle area, they moved out. Or they moved to a different part of the state away from all the urban mess. I don't blame them. If you have the time, go on YouTube and punch in Seattle died. Just put that in. Or the death of Seattle, or Seattle has died. I beg of you, if you have any interest at all in Seattle, or for whatever reason, to see what I'm talking about. This documentary was done, I don't know how many years ago, but you'd be shocked. And there's interviews with people who have lived there and moved out and showed you exactly what was going on with the police department, with the drug addicts and everything out of control. And the death of Seattle, or Seattle has died. jot that down. When you get a chance, you could always discuss that with me. If you have an interest in that, watch this documentary. Please do. It's worthwhile. Now, I used to enjoy going into the historic part of the town. These are the old buildings. Cobblestone. I mean, it's just beautiful old architecture from old Seattle. And they had the underground part of Seattle when they had a fire there. They basically, as they did in, what was it, San Francisco too? They basically built over the town. They built over. And they had these underground tours, but it didn't take you very far. But they had these underground tours. But I remember something was really interesting. I was working for Harbor, what the name was called, Harbor Properties. What they did was they renovated old properties. And I was doing demolition work in these, jackhammer, everything. Like I never used tools, Jackhammer, all that shit, cut off saws, and we would gut these places out. So, Pioneer Square is the name of the old district, the old buildings, the old structures that are still there, the beautiful buildings. Pioneer Square. Now it's like, even when I was there, they were pissing in the alley. It smelled like piss down there. Now you got a bunch of people, thieves and drug addicts. It's just horrible, just horrible. Anyway, I was at this one storefront that me and this other guy, another Frank, we were gutting it out. And, we got this big garbage containers, outside to throw the garbage in and stuff, wood and whatever. And now the sidewalks, that was right over underground Seattle. So the garbage truck came, and you had like these glass blocks. You'd see that in the sidewalks. It provided light to the underground Seattle area, But the truck, the sidewalk gave in, so the truck's wheels went down, and it exposed. It was pretty cool. There was a store, an old store that was abandoned. There was still some old bottles in there, calendars, different paraphernalia, but I would have loved to have jumped down there to just check this shit out, because I was interested in old antiquities and stuff like that. I love that stuff, but I didn't get a chance to do that. But you could see right down in there was old Seattle. It was cooler than shit. It was really cool. But they didn't allow us to go anywhere near that. Well, for our safety, of course, and all that. But it was a cool place. I could say that Seattle was a really cool place to live, to a certain point. But my timing was always so good. Like when I moved to Hawaii. And I was there for quite a long time, about 14 years, But I got out again at a very good time. Just again, drugs were taking over. You couldn't feel safe there. You really couldn't. And then the local Hawaiians, or mixed blood Hawaiians, or just the locals, period, they didn't have to be Hawaiian, but they all thought they were. But, the drug situation out there got really, really bad. Oh yeah, Portland is really messed up. Ever see that show called Portlandia? All these crazies in Portland. You had all these types that lived in Portland. Really odd people. They had odd people in Seattle, but Portland was the land of oddities. Of course, you had all these people that were into nature and naturalists and all that, but you had this really bizarre people in Portland. And it wasn't really far off from that show called Portlandia. Now, Portland was a place I could never live. They had more forest in Oregon than they have in Washington State, actually. It's a pretty place. The coastline, you got some rugged coastlines and really interesting place. But no, I chose to stay in the Seattle area. Seattle was a very up-and-coming place. It was, of course, the birth of all this industry, Microsoft and Redmond, Washington, and that area, and all the high-tech industries moved into there. And it really helped the economy. Boeing, of course, was in the Seattle area, but Everybody thought that they had a Boeing job, they had it made for life, and they went out and they bought houses, they bought cars, because if you could get a job with Boeing, you made some good money and good benefits. But unfortunately, Boeing did what Microsoft did a lot to employees. You know, you figure you got this great job, you can go on with your life. Now I can afford this house with a picket fence and a car and everything else. But a lot of times, Boeing would hire people, and they thought they had a lifelong job, and then, you know, the contracts weren't coming in. They'd fire, they'd get, you know, let go of the very people that were hoping that they had a future and career. And that also happened with Microsoft too, because my daughter's husband had worked through a headhunter agency, worked for Microsoft, and he was actually responsible for overseeing all these games that are produced and popular games. If there were any faults or any bugaboos in producing these games, very popular ones too. Very smart. He was very smart, and you know, he was in this particular department that they disbanded. So he'd have to work through a headhunter agency to get into there, and that's how they did that. And he always hoping I'm going to have a great future with great money and buy stocks and everything else, but that didn't work out for him that way. So that's how that went with that. Oh, Joe Beans, Merry Christmas. Yeah. Hope 2025 is better for everyone. I certainly hope so. Thank you for that, Carl. It has to be, believe me. I'm going to make the best of it. I'm at a critical part of my life, doing with age and everything else. And as I said, I'm not going to make any goddamn resolutions. I'm not going to do that, because most people can't keep the resolutions anyway. You know. I still haven't eaten. Again, I told you I go through this shit all the time. I don't know what I'm eating for breakfast. I defrosted my little bowl of blueberries here. I got to eat that. I might as well while I'm talking to you. Yeah, blueberries for breakfast. I'm not kidding you. I'll be eating something else. I just don't know what. And I don't like to eat bread. And by the way, don't eat wheat bread. That's where the gluten is, by the way. If you have to eat bread, just eat white bread. A lot of carbs and everything else. I mean, nothing is perfect in a diet. I mean, nothing is. I mean, if you had to go by what they're saying, what you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating, I mean, you might as well go out and eat grass. Seriously. Just go out and eat grass like the cows do across the street here, across the road. Just eat grass. You got to indulge in something now and then. I don't really live like some people say, well, you have one life, you got to do this and that. No, I want to preserve my life as much as I can. Other than a bad habit I have, everything else is pretty damn good. My supplementation, the kind of foods I eat for the most part are actually very nutritious. Leafy greens, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, things like that. You know, kidney beans, garbanzo beans, lentils. I incorporate extra virgin olive oil in my diet. I do a lot of the right things. But even if you do a lot of the right things, there's still no guarantee. There is none. Like in this movie I've been watching, the lady has a young infant. Everything going well, then all of a sudden she didn't even know it. She developed pancreatic cancer. From the time they diagnosed her, she died shortly after that. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And I do know a guy in Kona, Hawaii, the other side of the island I lived in, Bob. He died of pancreatic cancer, but he died of a massive heart attack on the MRI machine. He had horrible pains all around his back and body. The guy didn't know he was going to be dead that day. He didn't know he had pancreatic cancer. He went into the hospital, they put him on an MRI, and he suffered a massive heart attack while getting his MRI. Leo Frio. Yeah, Fazio had a really bad diet. But as me and my constituent used to talk about all the time, he would eat those prawns whole, I'm talking with all the hard crust and everything on it, things that could perforate your esophagus, your stomach. He used to pop those things down in whole. And you don't do that with prawns. Or at least you're not supposed to. Even a cat. It's not going to suck down a big old prawn. But he did. He did. Leo, what are you doing on my channel? You're kind of anti-Frank, aren't you? I've seen you on other shows. Now, Fazio ate a lot of pork. He used to show you his freezer. You cannot eat a lot of pork, guys. You just can't. I think that's one of the worst meats you could ever eat. Pork has so much parasites in it. I remember the industry was trying to promote the industry years ago. They called it pork, the advertisement. The other white meat. Oh, Christmas carolers out there. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. It's a quiet Christmas this year. It's a quiet Christmas. I gotta also get in my cashew nuts here too. We'll have to incorporate that. Why? Because they have the kind of fatty acids in there that you need. They're highly caloric. Oh boy. Let Gilbert take care of the carol. There's a couple of kids out there. You hear them? No rice today.
Hey, you get that right now, I'll give something.
Me?
Yeah.
I gotta give them it.
Alright, that's $100.
How much?
Alright.
Couple of kids. How do I split it up?
Just give that. One person's give the sharing.
Okay. Hey guys. Feliz Navidad. Well, you guys share that, okay?
Yeah.
All right? Okay. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good day. All right. It's only pesos, but at least I'm giving the kids something out there. Hasn't been really busy with carolers here this year. Oh, we still got 19 people out there. Welcome to my special Christmas show this morning. Pardon me, I'm just going to finish the blueberries. Oh, awesome. Just awesome. Awesome. No, I can't live without blueberries. Sorry. Can't do that. Mr. Blueberry. Mr. Blueberry on my shoulders. God bless you, Gilda. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you. It's the dust.
God bless you. Of course, you know what that expression came from, right? I explained to you before. When they had the plague, if somebody sneezed, they thought you caught the plague, and they would say, God bless you, because it means that you were going to die. And anyway, that's where that derived from, actually. If you didn't know that, you know that now. And there's a lot of different expressions we have these days that not many people know the meaning of it. But not knowing my future on YouTube here, I just don't think I want to do a show on that. Because every show I put on could be my last show. That's just the way it is with me. Forget saying I'm getting off or I'm not getting off. You'll know I'm off when you don't hear from me. I went for a couple of weeks of not making a single show on here. Yeah, it was a single show. Which means I have the capacity to do it. You just never know with me. You just really never know. Am I gonna? All right. Who we got here anyway? I'm sorry. I'm not always reading this. Excuse me. Oh, I burped. Oh no. Leo from Frio. You don't even like me, Leo. What are you doing? I'm not gonna block you. No. It's Christmas. I won't block you. You know, the one thing I'm not going to allow to do is on the holidays, I'm not going to get frustrated over legal shit or any crap like that. I'm not going to allow myself to do that. I'm going to enjoy the holidays. When they're over, I continue taking care of business. But I'm not going to frustrate myself over all these events. That's one thing, but the holidays are a whole different banana. If you're fortunate to not be alone and you got a loved one, you got it made in the proverbial shade. That's what I say. I don't know. I just couldn't picture myself being alone. Not really. I'm actually a pretty independent guy. Actually, if you knew me personally, I've always been. It doesn't mean that I didn't have a wish for female company throughout my life. I've always enjoyed that, but I also liked my time alone too. I was never a guy to try to entertain a crowd or something, other like YouTube or something, but I never, any event, I don't care what age I was at. I just not, I was really young. I could have went to Woodstock with my brother. I didn't go. And I'm kind of glad I didn't go, actually. I was really young, but I mean, that was a monumental event that part of me says I kind of wish I was part of that. But I didn't go with him. He went with his friends. It was one big muddy mess, as my brother told me, and a few people died. One accidentally because he was stoned out of his mind, asleep, and under some kind of a van or something. And they took off and didn't know that somebody was sleeping under it. Well, obviously the guy got crushed. He died. So they never figured there's going to be that much people showing up. And the owners of the land, they figured, okay, fine and all that. But nobody ever expected the turnout. I forgot how many people were there. But my understanding is it rained a lot. It was muddy. And a lot of loving going on, but a lot of smoking and toking going on and every other fucking psychedelic drug. People were stoned out of their fucking mind. That's where a lot of people that we know today are being some of the best rock musicians, Jimi Hendrix and going all the way down the line, got a lot of their fame from. So it was a monumental event. And I know that people kind of wished they were part of that event. There's part of me that kind of wishes I was. But I wasn't. But in a way, I'm kind of happy I wasn't. I think that would have been a little bit too overwhelming for me. A little bit. Well, you guys aren't talking too much today, so I'm not going to be on here too much longer. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to my lovely audience and wish you the best holidays. And let's make our new year the best ever. Like I said, fuck the resolutions. Because nobody sticks to that shit anyway. The best you could really do is just to stay out of fucking trouble. So you don't wind up incarcerated. God, that must be a lonely experience on the holidays, to be alone on the holidays. I don't know. I just can't fathom it. I don't know. You got to be with a loved one. You have to be with somebody on the holiday that gives a fuck about you, I can't imagine it otherwise. just can't imagine it. Oh, I suppose a couple of eggs are going to have to do. Here we go with the eggs again. God, that's one thing I forgot to buy was some extra virgin olive oil. I'm down on this sucker. Yeah. So I'll fry, or maybe scramble. All you need is a little bit. You don't need a lot. You kind of spread it around. Now, if you take just a little bit of this before you go to bed at night, you could possibly have a 20 to 30% chance of having an overnight heart attack. I give you that information for free. Nobody's begging on my show. No, sir, nobody's begging on my show. I'm not even monetized. Don't matter anyway. So what am I going to do differently? Am I going to have potatoes again with this? Please tell me I'm not going to have potatoes with this. Because the eggs, no, and I don't have any bread today. All the stores locally ran out of bread. Which is okay. But I like to sometimes make a little toast. And just to have with these eggs. Put a little butter on it or whatever. If I have cream cheese, which I don't have anymore, I put a little cream cheese on it. And here we go. There we go. Now we're talking. I got to get that protein in. That's why I can't just have a regular breakfast with cereal, which I don't even have any cereal around here at all. I got this crap I bought, made by Sante, Fit Museless. It's horrible. It's just flakes and it tastes like cardboard. I wasted my money on that. Nobody else wants to eat it. Excuse me. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Let's scramble this puppy up. What do you think, huh? I ran out of cheese, so I'm not going to make an omelet. I just got to get the protein in the morning. I'm lost without protein. Lovely eggs. It's the most complete food that you could ever eat is an egg. It absolutely is. So that, I guess, is going to be part of my breakfast besides some blueberries, besides some cashews. The one thing I could put in here is a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Yeah, why not? Why the hell not? A little bit. Spice it up a little bit, you know. Probably never heard of that, huh? Okay, these eggs are done. They're done and done. There we go. I'm no gourmet cook, that's for damn sure, but I'll tell you what, we're going to pig out. She made 2 whole trays of lasagna again, you know. 2 whole trays of that. No, it's not healthy, I'm going to tell you right off the bat. Lasagna is not really healthy. But you could indulge in stuff like that. It's okay. It's okay. Now and again. I wouldn't suggest it on a daily basis. Oh, these eggs need something. I got it's kind of like a margarine, but it's made of olive oil. There's enough olive in there, but I need something more for taste. Ah, screw it. Oh, there it is. Oh. And I'll show you what I use. And you get this in SNR. It's called Nuttelex with olive oil. It's dairy-free. It's a healthy alternative instead of using some shitty margarine. We'll take a little bit of this just for flavor. Very simple. Spread it around. Not too much of it, though. I don't really like really dry scrambled eggs. Sometimes she makes me some really nice omelets. A lot better. Well, you guys are not very talkative this morning. Sounds like a Barry show. Now, normally what I would do, which is probably not healthy, I'd make some kind of potatoes with this. I like the potato wedges. And I would have some potatoes with this. I'm just too lazy to make it. Hey, Raining Cats and Dogs. Happy Christmas to you, Gildan family. Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, I tried to do a Christmas morning show. I've talked about all kinds of shit so far. It wasn't really specific. Talked about where I lived and what was good and bad about it and how time goes by fast and what's going on for the holidays. Gilda got her present early. Combination of Christmas and birthday. Got that taken care of. My late dad was in Merchant Navy. Did mean omelet. Well, I like omelets. It's done right. It's really amazing. The Filipinos out here, and my girlfriend does it. She does that here all the time. So do their kids. They like having bread with their coffee. They dunk their bread in the coffee. Now, I would do something like that with a cookie or something, you know. But, with the tea. But I wouldn't be dunking bread. The only bread I'll have in the morning will be part of a breakfast or something if I decide to make bread, make some toast. But I'm not, I love bread. The only bread I love is fresh out of the oven. There's nothing better than that. Sourdough bread is pretty good. The first time I experienced that was when I was in San Francisco. And I was on the wharf, and me and I'm not into clam chowder, but me and my doctor's daughter, gal I was seeing, she went to live in California, so she went and took me over to the piers, to the wharf, and they serve you this clam chowder in the sourdough bread, which was carved out like a bowl. I'm sure you've probably seen that somewhere. And you have the clam chowder in there. Raining Cats and Dogs, so we like high starch and comfort foods in Scotland. Is that where you are? Because of the cold, wet climate. Yeah. And if you do live in cold climates, you have an extra need for protein and fats and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know, isn't Scotland, it's just like England. I mean, it rains a lot, showers a lot, and you kind of get that cold that goes right to your bones. Yeah, it does make a difference where you live as to what kind of food you eat. Oh, absolutely. It makes a big difference. But me, I'm done with the cold. That's it in my life. Don't forget, I lived in the East Coast, born and raised, and we had some cold-ass winters, man, where my ears were so bitter cold that my ears were in pain, my earlobes. And if you didn't wear earmuffs, you had to wear earmuffs or wear a wool hat or something that would cover your ears. Oh, I've experienced a lot. Now, Seattle is not really known to have a lot of snow, but they do. And sometimes when they get it, it could be really bad. And I can remember the biggest snowfall that we had. I was living at the house I owned in North Seattle, in Shoreline area, name of the town. There was like 14 inches of snow. And I had a four-wheel drive. I couldn't even get out of the driveway. And the hill, it was a dead end on a cul-de-sac. And it was a kind of a hill to get up to the next road, which also had a hill to get up to the main road. If I wanted to go to Safeway, which was on the main road, which was 15th Avenue Northeast, I'd have to first of all get it out of my driveway and then try to go up this hill on a block I lived to the next level, which was relatively flat, but then it would also come to an incline to get on the main road. And we got on the main road, well, it was a road that was leading to the main road. You'd have to go up another fucking hill. So that was really difficult. Expat forever. What's up? Merry Christmas to you, man. Full Celsius. Please. But you know, snow is fun for the kids, but then it gets old. And I remember that big snowfall we had. We had a few. It was fun, you know, the kids played in the snow outside, the dogs played in the snow. But then I felt really trapped. Like I was incarcerated, you know. I felt really trapped. My anxiety levels were rising because I didn't want a chance getting stuck and I didn't want to leave the driveway again. And the snow is nice, it's pretty when it comes down. The kids are all happy about it. They're building snowmen and they're throwing snow at each other, and the dogs are loving it, putting their noses in the snow and running around, and they're all having fun. But when you have that snow there too long, and then, you know, when it breaks down, it turns into a disgusting mess, black, because it has road oils in it and soil, and everything becomes actually ugly. But the worst thing is the black ice. The black ice. That's the worst. And I've experienced that on a road that had real inclines to it, and everybody was stuck. We all pulled over to the side, and people were sliding down the road. And you had to hope and pray that they didn't want to crash into your vehicle. We had buses that were coming down there that almost crashed into us. Then we had to wait a long time before the city came, and they threw down a bunch of sand and salt. It was only that time I could get out of there. I was supposed to be picking up my daughter at the movie theater up in Mountain Lake Terrace. And lucky your father, I called him up. I said, well, you know, can you go pick up my daughter? You know, and it was his daughter, her friend. Because there's no way I could make it over to Mountain Lake Terrace from there. So I eventually got out of there, made it back to the house, but I didn't leave the house. That's the most dangerous thing ever. It's the black ice. You don't always see it, but try to stop on black ice. I've seen cars sliding all over the damn road, causing damage to other cars. They would pile up, and not a great scene at all. Yeah. Look, I'm out of tea, I'm out of eggs. I'm going to get the best out of this tea. I'm going to put a little more water in it and warm it up so I can extend my little tea bag here. Not for expense, but it still has a lot of good shit in it. I want to take advantage of it. It's been hard to find my tea around here lately, so I'm low on tea. Gee, God forbid I run out of tea. I've been drinking tea for I don't know how many years. Green tea, of course. Green tea. A lot of years. I don't know. There's a lot of benefits to actually drinking green tea. I don't want to get into that shit now. But there really is. It does more good than harm. And antioxidants, all that kind of shit. You know, as the guys, I was always doing shows talking about this shit all the time. I tried to extend my experience and knowledge with other people on here. I'm never pretending to be a doctor or anything like that. I would never do that. But how do you learn something unless you read about it? You don't have to be a doctor to spread, health information or something like that. You don't have to be a doctor. But sharing is caring. We'll give it another 5 on here, I guess. I didn't like getting up at 12 o'clock last night, but I went back to sleep again. I went right back to sleep. Thank goodness. Yeah, I told you got this tradition out here. I understand for New Year's, but they got this tradition even on Christmas Eve that they get up at 12 o'clock and they eat. Yeah, they eat. Go to bed with a full stomach. But anyway, that's your tradition. Fuck the health crap. Nah, it's just, it is a tradition out here. New Year's, that's a whole nother animal. Nothing really special going on here for New Year's except after New Year's, when it's her birthday. And yeah, there will be a lot of activity here, but New Year's, I go to bed. There might be a few local people here that fire off a few things, but then it's over. It's not a big deal. It might be nice to go down to the beach area, see if there's any fireworks down there. But it's not a big thing to me. Tetley tea is my choice. I used to drink Lipton. Lipton is okay. It's not the strongest green tea. It's really not. Sometimes I'll double the bags. You really should be drinking at least 2 or 3 cups a day of green tea for the total benefits of it. No, Tetley's okay. But Lipton is a standby. And right now, all I have is, what's the name of this tea? I'm sorry, I'm not in the kitchen at the moment. Oh, Twinings. I got Twinings. That's an old company. Then I've had some stuff that came straight from Thailand and stuff. Her daughter, when she'd visit there, would bring these nice tins of tea. But I think they were kind of mixed with a little sugar and some other crap. Different tea mixes, Which I still got some. I just don't know how good it is. It's been laying there in this one tin. It looks like a red tea. But the tins are cool. You could put coins in there. You could use it for something, But yeah, whenever her daughter goes out to one of these places, she'll always bring back something from there. Twinings lemon tea is delicious. Yeah, I'm into, yeah. Expert forever. Will there be a poopy Christmas special for, I don't know. More likely. Well, let's not talk about him this morning. It's Christmas. Let's not even go there. I'm not going to be on here much longer anyway. I just thought I'd kind of pop on Christmas Day and say hello to everybody and wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all. And I do mean to all. All I can tell you guys is make the best of your life. Life is so goddamn short. It really is. And it has nothing to do with your age. You could go at any time for any reason, You got to make the best of what you think is the best for your life. Whether you're just a laid-back person or you like a lot of activity or whatever it might be, whatever does you good. As long as you move your blood. And I got to get more into this because I got to admit, ever since the kidney infection and kidney stones, I went for 3 months plus without doing my treadmill or anything. It's a big difference when you don't do that for a while. I mean, I'm not like stuck in my chair in the living room either. I get off that chair. You can't just stay on your chair and not let your blood move, But you got to move your blood around, and that's the secret of staying alive, Like I said, being a truck driver, if you're a truck driver, that's a dangerous occupation. I don't mean crashes like what happened in Pennsylvania. Trucker, you got pretty fucked up, I understand. But I'm saying that when you're sitting on your ass all day long, you're a good candidate for heart problems. Even a taxi driver, same thing. Brisket and gravy. Merry Christmas, Frank. It's truly a blessing to wake up in one's own castle with the woman you love. Know what I'm saying? I do know what you're saying, brisket and gravy. I know exactly what you mean. I'm a very fortunate man. Very fortunate man. I'm not a wealthy man, but I'm fortunate in other ways. I most certainly am. And I really thank my lucky stars every single day I wake up to know this. Being alone really sucks, especially as you're getting older. That's the worst part. That's something that you want to avoid at all costs. Even if you got to rent them out like Ricky does, there's a rhyme and reason why everybody does anything they do. Generally, there is. But people like Ricky and people like that, it's a very lonely life. I just couldn't do that. We are social animals, and we need to be around other people. And there's times that we don't want to be around anybody. I'm one of those persons. That's why I don't always like to go to these events. There's going to be a whole lot of people there, and especially here in the Philippines. Because first of all, the food is not probably something you're going to eat. And you got to listen to all their karaoke, which is mind-boggling. That's the one thing out here that you can't get away from is karaoke. You just can't. I guess Bummer's going crazy because the guards or whatever, the people in that structure are having a party. God, I couldn't handle it. Besides that, every time he does a show, all you hear is sirens and horns beeping, and I couldn't sleep. Hopefully I'll never be in that position. If I ever was, I'd have some construction type headphones on, to block out the sound. That's the only way I could sleep. Imagine being right there, the horns are blowing, sirens are blowing, because there's a fire station not far from there. And, oh God, I couldn't deal with that. And whoever's having a party and karaoke and everything else. It's the one thing, because I went to a Zumba party several days ago on the beach that me and Gilda went to, and, of course they were singing, and my ears, and they were, they had Baboy and all that, that's Sean. The only thing I was able to eat was sort of kind of like a salad. There's a little lumpia. I guess I had a couple of pieces of lumpia, but I could tolerate that to a point. It's all oil, greasy, vegetable oil. Talk about arteries hardening. You could look at that stuff in your arteries. You could hear them hardening. Yeah, so it is truly a blessing to wake up in one's own castle with the woman you love. You know what I'm saying, and I do know what you're saying, brother. I know exactly what you're saying. Excuse my language, but it's very blessed. I'm still alive. I'm still thriving. I don't have any major illnesses that I'm aware of. And even my sinuses have been holding out. I don't know why. Not, totally. I mean, I sneeze, and I'm always going to do a little sniffing like that. You'll hear that on my show a lot. That's because I have post-nasal drip. A little mucus goes to the back of my throat. I got to clear it sometimes, or just blow my nose or something. But I apologize about that. It's like Barry's burping. But that's worse. I mean, that's, in any social situation, you don't want to be belching in front of people. That's really low class, and it's very symptomatic of some kind of a problem. I don't know what, but it's probably not a good thing happening with that. I never heard of anybody belching that much. I never really have. I've never seen it. But that's kind of rude and crude. Wouldn't you say? Yeah. Oh, we still got 16 people out there and 10 thumbs up. I guess we're doing okay for a Christmas morning. How's your morning there, Robert? You going very well? Did you have your elixir? Oh, that tea's hot. Okay, I just wanted to come on here and spread the cheer. Remember, don't do things that are going to get you into further trouble in your life. Try to keep a low profile sometimes, whether you're a YouTuber or outside of YouTube. If you're going to live in any foreign country, it's really advisable to just, live your life. Socialize with the right people, stay out of trouble. Don't flaunt your riches if you have riches. That's not a healthy thing to do. Just be friendly with the local population. You have to live there, obviously. We are very fortunate because, my God, she knows so many people, has made so many friends that became my friends, but they're like hang around friends, something like that. But she's like a magnet to people. She just spews that approachability factor, You can't be bitching and whining all the time, and you approach people and you're pissed off and you're mad and you're calling them names, and that doesn't bring people close to you. It doesn't bring people close. It repels people. People know when you're approachable or not by your demeanor. You smile and you see somebody, it means you're approachable. You don't have a puss on your face or something like that. Fuck you, you didn't give me a donation, fuck you all. My life is horrible. Well, people don't want to know that your life is horrible. Even if it is, people don't want to know. Believe me, I've deterred people in my life. Believe me. Well, maybe I had an event going on growing up, whatever, If you're not approachable, you're going to meet somebody for the first time, a party, I don't care what it is. Out in the streets, a park, whatever the hell it is. If you are seemingly very approachable to people, then that's an advantage. They're going to like you. Because the first few seconds that you meet somebody, people make an evaluation within the first 5 seconds, 10 seconds of meeting you. I've met people that I know damn well, like Bummer, when I first met him. I did not see him as a person I'd ever want to be a friend with. I'm sorry to mention YouTubers on here, but this kind of goes along with my story. No, he was not a person that I would want anything to do with. We were on two different intellect levels. We were, I knew his history at that point to a large degree. Met him a couple of times, and he just was not somebody that I would ever want hanging around. I really wouldn't, I'm not trying to say I'm high class or anything like that. I'm not even saying that at all. I don't think I'm high class or anything. Never made that statement. But he was just too far down on the chain. He just was not somebody that you really wanted to hang around. The bald head, the tattoo, the incessant smoking, and throwing his cigarette butts on my property, and coughing his brains out, and his intellect level was it was too vast a difference from mine. He calls me a stupid fuck. Well, who's sitting in jail cell, me or him? Let me just end that statement. Who's the one that's in fucking jail? Him or me? He is. So who's the stupid moron? You gotta stay out of trouble. We do have laws in this country. And try to abide them as much as you can, because it is, I don't care if you got an SSRV, Dirtine, I don't care what you have. Now comes a surprising statement that I wasn't sure I was ever going to say it on here. And I gave hints of this years ago. And don't ask me to present paperwork, because I'm not going to do that. There's too much personal information on there. You could believe me, or you don't have to believe me. I'm not even sure I should even say it. Give me a minute if I should even say it. And no, I'm not going to produce paperwork. I'm not going to put my personal life out there on paper. It does have to do with paperwork. I'll leave you at that. It has to do with Singapore. I'll leave it at that. And I think that's as far as I'll go with that. You can make your own deductions as to what the hell I'm talking about. And I will leave it at that. Hint, hint. You figure it out. Okay, guys, I got to get showered up. I got to get dressed up. Damn, do I need a haircut. You know, the guy who always cuts my hair is not in town anymore. We have to go to Van Tine or somewhere. My hair is just totally out of control. Not looking my best today or lately. But I get to spend time alone with my lady, my beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful, fantastic woman. Nobody's here. When the lights are low. I got to deal with my erectile dysfunction, I guess. Yeah, right. Let me tell you, I'm more functional than most people on here. But if it makes you feel good to say I have a little dick, Barry, but that I got ED or something, how do I know you don't? How do I know you don't, Barry? Just words. Words don't come easy for me. Da 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 da. Oh, if you only knew. There's so much about me, people, that they don't really know. And I try to keep it that way. And they can form their own deductions and evaluations of me, but little do they know, there's so much they don't know about me that I cannot share on here. Whether it's my finances, social position, whatever it might be. I don't talk about everything. As much as you may think that I'm quite personal on here. It's kind of my personality. I can become very personal, but I have limits. I have limits. Like anything else in life, you should have limits on what you talk about on social media. But you'd be surprised. One of my best kept secrets on YouTube history since I have been in a relationship, my best kept secret. And I'm not going to tell you what that is. Noper. Okay, I'm going to kind of finish my tea, and I got to kind of pretty up myself here a little bit here for the lady, and see what this day brings us. I got to go downtown, though. Maybe a couple of items we still need. Might hit the ATM machine, the one on Bandit, but I'm not sure they're going to have any money in it today, being Christmas Day, and all the foreigners that are in town, they just sucking the money out of the machines like there's no tomorrow. Know what I'm saying, guys? And what else was I going to talk about before I end my wonderful morning Christmas show today? Just a little advice, maybe. A little philosophy that you're used to. Try to enjoy every day that you have, because you don't know when your last day is. You could be having a wonderful day and boom, a heart attack could hit you, a car could hit you, a toilet bowl could fall out of the sky or something. You just really don't know. And I think a lot of people, they take life for granted. Look at my Uncle Tony, he's over 100 years old. He takes it day by day. He didn't think he'd live to be 100 years old. And of course, he got health problems in regards to his age. That happens. But this guy still maintains a fantastic attitude. He didn't want to hear about any negativity, nothing like that. Oh, something I did discover, which was very nice. Very nice. Tony divulged to me that he met up with my sister. She's the one that had my brother's ashes. And apparently they created a headstone on their property for my brother. They buried the ashes. That was very nice. I couldn't be there to do that. I didn't know he even died. It's not like I never stayed in touch with him. I didn't care for him. I just didn't know. How are you supposed to know that? You don't. You just don't. Till somebody tells you when you're like 8,000 miles away. But you know when something's wrong when you can't communicate with the person. And when somebody writes you on Facebook and say, hey, I think there's something wrong. So I called my sister and find out that he died 2 weeks ago. Not 2 days ago, not 2 minutes ago, not 2 hours ago, but 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks, I didn't know. So when I hear all these lame comments on here, oh, you didn't even know your brother died and all this other shit. No, I really didn't know. Because I have a sister that is, well, she's kind of a bitch. Okay. Oh, another troll here, Mr. Merciful, one of Barry's big followers. Wow, you'd rather spend Christmas morning with the trolls. Well, my family isn't here except for Gilda. And I decided, Mr. Merciful, to do a lovely morning Christmas show. Is that okay with you, Mr. Merciful? Do I have your permission to do that? No, we have the rest of the family in Cebu, and one of them is in Davao, visiting a relative that died. They're all going to be over here on Gilda's birthday, though, coming up soon. And we're going to have the whole family here. So we got the house for ourselves today. The two little ones, well, not little, but the two boys that live here, they're out in Cebu with their dad, which they should be. They got to spend time with him. Does that answer your question, Mr. Merciful? No, this is my choice to be on here Christmas morning. And if you have a problem with that, well, you better go find another Barry show to kiss his ass or something. Not on my show, you're not. But thank you for stopping in. And to tell you what, Mr. Merciful, you have a wonderful Christmas day and a wonderful New Year. And I mean that. Have a wonderful Christmas. I mean, you're on here. What are you doing making comments on my show on Christmas Day, Christmas morning? I suppose I could say that. Know what I mean, Merciful? I think you know what I mean. Okay, guys, I do got to get out of here. And I got to do a few chores today. Oh, I hear that famous chicken song. Let me hear that again.
Hey, just come by there and...
That's the Barry chicken dance, isn't that? The Barry chicken dance or something? Hey, Barry, cheer up. It's not that bad, Barry. Cheer up, man. Cheer up. It could be worse, you know? It might be worse, actually, you know? And I'm just going to make my statement now. I'm not changing my mind on anything, bro. I'm just not. You know, you got to pay the price of the things that you do in life. Okay? You just have to. Like I said, you got yourself into that situation. It's up to you to try to get yourself out, and that's why you have an attorney. So, do what you need to do. You don't want to go on my terms. And I'm the one that should have the terms. I'm the one that's got a case against you for what you did. I'm the one, remember that? It's not the other way around. Do we got that straight? Have you figured it out yet? It's my way to fucking highway. That's it. Now, I'm not kidding. It's my way or the fucking highway. I'm in the driver's seat here, and I don't give a shit about what you're doing with your girlfriend. I don't give a shit. We'll handle that. No matter what happens, good or bad, the case still goes on. We'll go down together. How's that? To be fair, we'll go down together. If I go down, you're going down with me, brother. I don't really anticipate that happening. But if I go down, you're going down with me. That's just the way it's going to be. There's no compromise with somebody who constantly comes on their show and downs me all the time and calls me every name in a book. And the stupidity level on theirs is just, it's enormous. Especially with 5 charges on you. It's enormous. It's crazy. It's crazy than shit. It's more than being monkey ass out of your mind. It's a lot more than that. Why would you do that? Every single show, you think it's not being heard or recorded? You think something is not going to be introduced in the court system or a second case? You're out of your monkey ass mind if you think that. There is no dealing with you anymore? It is what it is. I started something and I'm going to finish it, Barry. That's just the way it's going to be. You can call me any name in the book to make yourself feel happy about yourself and your situation, but you're not phasing me at all. I'm not pulling out my hair. I'm not upset when you call me names. I've been through this for how many years? It doesn't strike me. Just know that. I'm used to hearing all your defamities and all your allegations and all this crap. And all this shit about singing a song. It's old, man. It's old. It gotten old. None of that pertains to the case against you. If you haven't figured it out already, it doesn't pertain to that case. Not at all. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Put it at your vape and smoke it. You just got to pay the price for what you did. You don't want to budge. You don't want to budge. You're not in a position to tell me to budge. Understand that. You're not in that position. I know you figure you got the sword over my head with your girlfriend's complaint. Well, what if that don't work out? What if it doesn't? What edge do you have on me then? We'll work that situation out. I got several avenues to take if it didn't go my way with immigration. I hope you know that. But you want to try to make my life miserable? Well, how you doing so far? You're miserable being in that jail cell, aren't you? How'd you like more time? Oh, I know. Free rent, free electricity, life's good, saving your Social Security money. I get it. I get it. But you see, lies don't get you anywhere in life. It tends to turn on you later on. When people catch you in constant lies, they don't trust you anymore. Meaning how much money they give you in donations, friendships, anything like that. Nobody likes a chronic liar. And that's the truth. See, truth, lie. But that is the truth. Nobody appreciates a constant, chronic liar. I don't know how many times, just on one show of yours, the lies that are coming out of your mouth. You think you know the law system? You don't know shit. Because you don't really have much communication with your attorney. If you spend some time, or if he bothers to get back to you, why don't you ask him some questions? Write them on paper so you remember them. The next hearing is going to be in March. It's not January unless they just recently changed it. But no, when we left that courtroom last time, I heard it myself. If nothing is settled, then it's going to be in March, which means you still have to be incarcerated until March, the spring. That's where you're going to stay. Sorry, but you did something that was really stupid that's working against you, not for you, by getting your girlfriend involved in this shit. You might just be hurting her. Did you ever think about that? All this love you profess about her. We all know better. But I got to tell you, it's not going to work out as you think or would hope. This kind of shit could turn against her. But you did it. Don't put me in on this. You did it. Nobody twisted your arm to make her do a complaint on me. You twisted her arm. Coerced. Remember, it's on video. We got the recording. Keep that in mind. It's real. It's come out of your mouth. They will use it. And hopefully it comes to a pleasant conclusion for me. You're not going to hold that little sword over my head. That little ace in the hole is what you're hoping for, right, Barry? That might not happen. And even if it does, there are two avenues I said that we can take. Not me and you, but I mean me and my attorney. Attorneys, plural. Two of them. You got one that hardly even contacts you. They don't want to listen to you. You talk about the U.S. Embassy. They can't stand you. They don't want you to call them. Immigration don't want you to call them. Why don't you face the reality of what's going on in your life and deal with it? By doing shows about me and calling me every name in a book, you're not going to hurt my feelings. But as a result of what you do, where are you now? You laugh at me and call me names, but where are you? How successful were you on, avoiding immigration and your responsibilities as a tourist out here? 7 years, man. 7 years. Now you've been in there for over 20 months. Jesus Christ, 20 fucking months. That's a long time, bro. And maybe more to come. But the problem is your attitude. Your attitude and your altitude. Maybe you like that kind of living. Maybe it takes pressure off you financially to have your girlfriend come over and support you. So much so she had to take another job, a part-time job, a couple of days a week, whatever, to support your ass. How does that feel? A woman has to support you. That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. It really is. You're proud of that? Well, that's what you've been doing the whole time you've been in this country. Remember, he said, I don't want a woman without a job. Yeah, for good reason. You want her to support you. A real man is not going to have his woman support him. I'm sorry, as Fazio would have his definition of what a real man is. You're not going to be a real man if you don't have the capacity to support your woman or have to totally depend on her. That's pretty sad. With that being said, Merry Christmas, everybody. And Merry Christmas to you, Barry. And many, many more incarcerated. For all I care, they could keep you in there for 20 fucking years. I don't care. You are just too vile of a person. You deserve everything that could be thrown at you. And I sincerely hope the judge throws the book at you. If not, well, I got the satisfaction that I got you off the streets for a long time. Not going to hurt anybody anymore. Financially, emotionally. Yeah. John Smith says there will be enjoying the delicious Christmas dinner of Oreos and Pringles. Yeah, baby. Now that's a Christmas dinner. No, he'll just order out from Panda, the guy that says he doesn't have any money. And he gained a lot of weight. I don't think the guy's starving there, John Smith. Oh, 11 up now. I don't think he's starving. And to order every day from Panda Express, that takes a lot of money. Where's he getting the money? His girlfriend can't provide it all the time because, she's trying to keep her head above water. God bless her. God bless her. God bless her. She's trying to keep her head above water. She could help him now and then, bring him certain supplies, but she could only do so much. Would you imagine? So he's using his Social Security that he, adamantly denies that he's not getting his Social Security. Well, he's getting money somewhere, and I don't think it's donations from his viewers. If you call $2 now and then, that's not cutting the mustard. No, it's not. But, maybe he'll have a revelation or something after all this is over. Maybe, he'll refine God. Well, he did try to refine God, but God said, get the fuck out of my life, you piece of shit. You lie a lot. We can't trust you, God says. How dare you quote verses on your show? You got an RSVP to hell. You know it. I know it. We all know it. You are where you belong. That's where you belong, and hopefully where you stay. No mercy on you, sir. None whatsoever. And for good reason. You still don't get it, do you? You still don't get it. Okay. Anybody out there today? Oh, some more kids walking by. Probably the same kids that came by. Are they new carolers? Oh, yeah. Ah, you can take care of this one. Lovely, gorgeous, wonderful Gilda. John Smith, you have a real good Christmas, man. I hope you wish you a happy new year. And, my advice to you, Barry, if I had to really give you advice, I don't give a shit, but, unless you get your act together, man, your life is never going to come together. You're already over 50 years old. You're not a child anymore, playing with your fucking little online games and all that. Grow up. Take responsibility in your life. And maybe someday you could get your ass, you get your life together, get your shit together. You don't wind up in situations like this. Michael Sticker? No way. How'd you find me? Is this the real Michael Sticker? No fucking way. If it's really you, I've been trying to research you for years. Deborah Harry, when I was living in Seattle, she was at the Copper, whatever restaurant. I called up there, had to make believe I was you to try to find out where you were. And she got on the phone and I said, well, this isn't Michael, but I'm an old friend of Michael's. You know where he is? He says he was still in Hollywood. Yeah, briefly. Yeah. She's at the Copper Kettle restaurant, and this was in Seattle. I'm actually living in the Philippines right now. I lived in Seattle for 26 years after I left New York. I finished the School of Visual Arts. I stayed there. Is that really you, Michael? Man, I'd love to have a rap session with you, man. Look me up on Skype. You can look under my name or look under Franken Paradise #1. Try doing that. Or try to go to Facebook and add me to Facebook. Make a friend request on Facebook. You're living in a minivan? I followed your story, what happened down at CBGB's, man. The knifing incident and all that shit. I'm not kidding. I kind of followed you or tried to, whatever information I could find out on you. Are you still in touch with Deborah? Yeah, the last time I seen you was in Grand Central Station. And we didn't talk much because we had an incident one time in Mount Vernon. You were probably mad at me and all that shit. But yeah, I tried to look you up so many goddamn times, man. If this is the real Michael Sticker, I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked. Because I want to hear of all your exploits, and I know you've got a lot to share, where you've traveled with the bands and everything. Wow, dude. How did you find me? How did you know I was on here? Unless this is somebody pretending to be you. I'll know, because I know your voice. If we ever talk on Skype, I'll know. I've seen a picture of you somewhere. You were in the kitchen. You looked a lot different, and wow. I'm flabbergasted. Are you in touch with Deborah Harry anymore? You're living in a minivan. You wind up in Rikers, didn't you, on that incident or something? Wow. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Got a big old V around here. Get. Okay, a wasp. Wow, man. Yeah, I try to follow some of that CVGV stuff, man. I actually talked to, who's our Nigerian friend at New York Tech? Okay, I'll let you get your incident thing there. Wow, we need to do a lot of catch up. Yeah, I'm still alive, obviously. Holy shit. This is a ghost of my past. If it's really him. Amazing. After all these years. A lot of history behind this guy. He got to do things that some only dreamed to do. Well, most of it, part of it anyway. Got to travel. Some very well-known bands. He's a roadie. Maybe even did public relations. Yeah, I talked to Deborah, and while I was living in Seattle at one point, she was at the Copper Kettle. And the only way to try to find out about where you were living is is a call over there. I didn't go down because I live north of there. I should have went down there and talked to her, and all I had to do was say I know Michael, and we would have had a good rap session. It's too bad I didn't take advantage of that, really. I don't know how you're living in your minivan. Wow, this is interesting, really interesting. We have an event here today, folks. Somebody part of my Seattle past. No, my Washington past. Excuse me. I want to keep on saying. Well, boy, I'm flabbergasted. Actually, New York, New York. God, I'm going back. Jeez, I'm going back. My New York past. Yeah, we went to the same schools, New York Tech, Technology, and we went to School of Visual Arts. Then he got involved with the band Astoria. That was incredible with the New York Dolls. God, I can't forget that. Michael started getting me into that stuff. It wasn't my endeavor at the time, but he said, "Yeah, come with me, come down to CBGB's and check this out, check this out." Then we went to the Waldorf Astoria because the glitter rock band, David Johansen, of course, of the New York Dolls, and Johnny Thunder on the bass, I think. I remember all that shit. It was a wild ass party. Celebrities were there. Pretty wild stuff. If that's really Michael Sticker. No, I haven't talked to her for years since I lived in Seattle. I mean, no. Last I heard, if you're still listening, is you were living in Hollywood. Pretty wild. Yeah, I'd look on the internet, I'd try to find stories about CBGB. Now, you were in, and there was these great stories in there about some of the incidents, and, how, you got to tell me about the Ramones, too. How well did you know Joey and all them? Shame what happened to these guys. But the fact you wound up in Rikers, they were trying to arrest you on that incident with the Puerto Ricans. That was insane, man. That was totally insane. Let's see. Why can't I leave an own message on my own show? This is weird. Under the message area here. Why can't I leave my own message? And if you're still listening, I lived in Hawaii for 14 years, too. Come on, switch to your goddamn internet. I don't know if you were alive or dead, to tell you the truth. I know you got into a little bit of drinking going on there, so I don't know how bad that got, but wow, this is insane. Insane. My timing was good today. I would never have heard from Michael Sticker if this is the real Michael Sticker. And I'll know if it is because he could say something in the past that only maybe we know. That's how I know if it's the real Michael Sticker. You could tell me what apartment complex that you lived at in Mount Vernon, and I'll know if that's the real Michael Sticker. And who was Fico? That's another question. Fico, the way you used to pronounce it, was Fico. And if you have your memories good at New York Tech, what events happened in an elevator a couple of times you and I were in? These are some vital questions. Let me know that's really him. Yeah, I'll do a lot of catch up with you, man. Once we begin to talk, we can go on Skype or something or whatever. Or just add me to Facebook. We go on the Messenger. You can go on camera on there too if you want, You got to share more stories because I don't know everything that went on with you and your life after the bands and all that stuff, what you've been doing with yourself. You're living in your, wow, Living in your van, your minivan. What's up with that? I guess I gotta hang in here a little bit longer to make my connection with Michael here. Got to plug my phone back in because the battery's going dead. Well, how about that, folks? A big surprise today on my show. This is somebody who was part of my past over in Mount Vernon, New York, who introduced me to some crazy shit. I remember the boots, Michael. I remember the boots. Well, while he switches off to switches his internet, I guess I have to hang in there just a little bit longer here, if not just for Michael. A rare event right now. A rare event. I met up with Alice once. What was that damn bar at the on East 17th in Union Square, where Debbie used to work at one point? And our friend that we know as Alice Cooper used to hang out. I actually met him once in there. You know, he's got a hamburger joint or something somewhere. I forgot which state. I don't know what he's doing with himself. I love that chicken song. Come on, Michael. I can't be on here all morning here. Don't leave me hanging, man. No, I don't think sometimes you could put an email in here. It doesn't take, I guess. Okay. Guess I have to just hang in there a little bit. Got a lot of catching up to do, that's for damn sure. We certainly do. I don't know why you didn't try to find me or contact me all these years. Hope you're still listening. I don't know if you ever got married, have children. There's a lot I don't know. You had a pretty wild life there for a while, dude. Sorry you're late, Judge Cabot. I've been on here for over 2.5 hours, dude. On my Christmas morning, I didn't plan it that way. But now I had somebody from my past just show up on here. So I have to stay on here a little bit longer until we figure out how we're going to communicate with each other. Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Judge Kubota. I always love that, Judge Kubota. Oh, the aloe thing, you know. And good Merry Christmas to you, too. Michael Sticker. Lo and behold, my goodness. Yeah, I'm still alive, dude. I'm glad to see you're still alive. Only you, though. Oh, Merry Christmas to me. Okay. Yeah, no big events for Christmas here. It's just me and mine for Christmas. But later on, there'll be, next month, early next month, there'll be everybody's going to be down here. Because Gilda's birthday. And yeah, we're going to celebrate then. It was probably one of the longest shows I've done in a long time here, actually. Well, Michael, I don't know how long I'm going to be on here, but we'll keep this show on if you want to. I'll give my information. I don't know. Who cares? He's digging it again, probably going to dig again. He'll definitely do a show today or something, taking his famous shovel out. Well, that shovel's been through a lot of wear and tear, I'll tell you that. Should be made of titanium. Yeah, I got an interesting person that just showed up here on my show. I don't know, he's trying to go onto a different internet or something. Somebody from my past in New York that I have not talked to for decades. Decades. A very interesting person, actually. A lot of history. Good old days back in Mount Vernon. We haven't talked ever since. And the last time I seen him was at Grand Central Station. He was passing through. I don't know if he was still working for Blondie. We just started talking about Deborah Harry, and he said, "Wait, let me switch my internet." I'm living in his minivan. Oh yeah, it was a long time ago, dude. Back when I lived in New York, of course. We were both going to the same colleges, actually, too. God, no, not 50 years. How old do you think I am? No, I wasn't 50 years old. No, how was it? You might be right, man. You might be close to that. He might be close to that, actually. What am I saying? I was in my, what, 20s when I knew him. He used to hang with him a little bit. He had a great sense of humor. I got along with him for that part because we both had a good sense of humor. He certainly did. Then I kind of had a fight with him and all that stuff, and that was it. We got into it physically, actually. I don't know what caused that. Michael was kind of a wisecracker in a way, and maybe he's something I didn't like or something, and I just reacted or something. I don't know. We haven't talked to each other since. I told you I ran into him one time in Grand Central Station, and that was about it. The last time I've seen. They go by quick, Judge Kubota says. I keep forgetting how many years passed already for many events. Yeah, me too. I'm losing track. Michael, where are you? Well, I've got an email address. Even if you're not on the show after I get off here, just I got an email address I use for social media, and it's Frank in Hawaii, FRANKIN Hawaii 54 at yahoo.com, and I always use that for my social media. And of course, you could find me on. I'm not active on Facebook, just a messenger. You could look up me on there. Um, oh God, if it says anything about Philippines or something, um, you'll know it's me. I'm not active on there though. Notice I tried to look you up so many times, so many ways. See if you're still alive even. I had no idea. I even called, I think, relatives over in Fleetwood or Mount Vernon on High Street. I forgot where your relatives live, and they didn't know where you were or something. Yeah, interesting. If that's really him, I'll know it's really him by certain questions I'll ask. I don't know how he found me. That's why I'm kind of suspicious. But I have certain questions I could ask him to know that's really him. That's how I'll know. Only me and him know these questions. I know the answer to these questions. It could be somebody fucking around because I've talked about him before on my shows. Okay, well, I don't know where Michael went, but I'm almost afraid to get off here because I don't want to lose contact. If it's really Michael, I would definitely like to talk to him. Well, what I'll do is on my comments section on my show, I'll leave this show on. On my comments section on there, I'll just put my email address in or something. He said he was going to switch to his the internet or something. I don't know what he's doing really. And how he found me even on here, that's kind of astonishing, actually. Judge Kubota says, I see some women around from school that were easy on the eye back in the day. Today I can't even see the remnants of their past beauty. Oh man, I hear you on that. Oh, geez, I could tell you stories. Yeah, they were just absolute beauties back then. Nature was not very good to them at all. It's amazing. Why do we have to change that way and deteriorate in such a way physically, at least on the surface, you know? That's part of life. Okay, Michael, where are you? I guess I'm probably going to have to do that. Yeah, it's probably 50 years, man. Can you believe that shit? You know, we didn't hang out all the time, but we got together and all that shit, but we didn't hang out all the time. Kind of an interesting character, I could tell you that. As I was. He got involved in all this glitter rock and all that shit that came down, grunge, you know. He started hanging around at CBGBs, and that's what started off his little career. Yeah, it would be nice to if he gets on here again. He said he had to switch off to the other internet or something. He said he's living in his minivan. He said he tried to post his email on here, but it didn't come through. Huh. I'm pretty sure that's him. The way he came and said, Frank? With the question mark. When we were young and a little stupid, sometimes you get old and you get stupider. With some people. Wow, this is the longest show I've had in a long time. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Jesus, Christmas. Speaking of Christmas. Well, are we going to lose connection with him on this? I don't really know. I don't really know. All I could do is when I hang on here, I could put in a comment section. I could put my email address on that. The best I can do. And then we could share information from there, and another way of contact each other by phone or whatever. Skype would probably be the best deal. Get your Skype going, Michael, if you could hear me. But is it really him? I'll find out. That would be interesting. On Christmas Day, 2024, Michael Sticker shows up. Lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. A little reminiscing. And a little catch up. No, a lot of catch up actually. Not the catch up on your hot dog, but a lot of catching up to do. I gotta hear his story. I know he's got a lot to tell. Being in the, shall I call it the industry that he was kind of involved with, should be quite revealing. I don't know if you could hear me or you're having problems there, but no, that's the last time I ever talked to her. She was at the Copper Kettle in Seattle doing some kind of promo. I don't know what she was doing. She was there for a reason, promoting something. I don't know what it was. But last I heard, you were living in Hollywood. I don't know if you're still living even in California still. Wow. Did I live in an Italian neighborhood in New York, you mean? Oh, yeah. A lot of Italians in Mount Vernon, New York. Absolutely. No, Fazio lived over in, was it Queens or what borough he lived in over there? Wasn't around the corner from me. No. Nope. We didn't live close to each other. He lived on Howard Beach, okay, which is over near Queens. Okay, I can't stay on here forever. Michael, for some reason you could hear me and you can't communicate for whatever reason, I'll leave my social media email on my comments section on my show. And we'll figure out if that's the real Michael. Okay, Judge Cabote, you have a good one too. Have a happy holiday, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this past 2 hours and 48 minutes. That would even burn out Popeye. Would he hang in there that long? I don't think so. I don't think so. Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad. Coming to you live from an island in the Philippines. Michael, that's where you got to make a trip. You got to come out and visit me if that's you. I don't know what happened to him. I really don't. He came on and said, hold on, I got to get on the other internet or something. That he's living in his minivan. I don't know what that's all about. But I gave him time enough to come back on here again, so it's either somebody fucking around. I have no idea, but I'll know if it's him or not. So if he contacts me, I'll know exactly who he is. You have to know our history and certain questions to know who he really is. I'm not going to take anything on a surface level here. I'll know if it's him. Okay, guys, take care. Have a good holiday. And I got to spend some time with my loved one. So we'll catch you on the sly. Enjoy your day. And I don't know if there'll be any other shows in between. But if not, take care. And don't let anybody give you any shit. Just give it back in spades. Okay, I got to go. Let's see. Where was his thing here? Where was his? Let me scroll on this. Can I scroll? Let's see. Let's see. Michael. No, wait. Oh, I pinned that message, didn't I? What did I do with that? I guess I pinned one of his writings here. Damn. Okay, well, if he comes back, I won't know it, but unpinned message. Okay, there we go. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Well, Michael, if you're still listening, send me an email. It's frankinhawaii54 at yahoo.com. FRANKIN, Hawaii, at Hawaii54, that is, at yahoo.com. And I'll leave that on my comments section. Take care. If that's really you, good to hear from you. Let's stay in touch.